Well, hey y'all, welcome to the Traveling Bodie. Thank you for coming to this page. If you've never been here before, we have quite an adventure going on. We have those two buildings, those two sheds down there. We are building them into tiny houses for my friend Laurel. Anyway, this is a plumbing video. Those two buildings, or I should say the building on the left over here, the main wing, is completed plumbing wise after this video. This video we're covering so many amazing things. I'm going to be installing and finishing out the bathroom with the toilet and the shower and the vanity, the whole thing, trimming out the water heater, and also mainly livening up the water. That house at the end of this video will have running water. And that may not seem like much to you, but my friend Laurel, who I'm building these properties for, she's been living in these buildings basically for the last 6 months without running water for both toilet and sink and everything. So you'll get to see at the very end of this clip her jubilation. Her jubilation for having running water. We've been on this property for about 6 months, and when we started it was just a forest. Untouched forest, like what you see behind me in this clip here, right? So a lot has happened. So if you're new to the journey, click the like button, click the subscribe button, and stay tuned, because this journey has been going for quite a while and we still got a little bit more to go, but it's getting to the good stuff now. Now you're gonna want to start watching these videos, all right? So at the end of this video, it's gonna be quite amazing. So stay tuned. We're gonna head down and we're gonna start getting some of these buildings plumbed. You're not going to want to miss this episode. Stay tuned, everyone. I'm so excited to have you on the journey with us. Let's get at it. And before we get into it, one other thing I wanted to say is this video, a little different from the other ones, is going to be a lot of how-tos, a lot of plumbing pro tips coming your way, because this guy here used to be a plumber back in the day in San Francisco, and so I got lots of things I can share with y'all. So as you're watching this video, it's going to be a lot of how-tos. Not so many videos I have else on this page are how-tos, but this one's definitely a how-to, so stay tuned. If you want to learn how to do plumbing in a few different ways, stay tuned, because I got some good plumbing pro tips for you coming up, so stay tuned for that. All right, now without further ado, let's get going. Woo boy! So the next step in the plumbing here in the main house, we have, like I said earlier, the two water lines. This coming from the studio, and this one coming from the main house here to feed the supply. What I need to do is I need to take these shutoff valves here and isolate each wing. And I also got a shutoff valve with a drain down on it. So I'm putting these in here now so that the water lines will be connected. So in time I can put a pump here and we can liven up the house. So giving you the preview before, and I'll show you afterwards. So here's the finished manifold. So you can see this is the line coming from the main. There's the main shutoff here and coming over, and here's the line going over to the studio shut off here, and this will eventually come tee down into the pump, which is there. Unfortunately, I'm like 4 rings shy to connect all this, so I'll have to finish this on another day. But either way, there's the manifold for the water system coming in. Next project I'm going to undertake is connecting this 3-inch line with that cistern over there, and I have all this 3-inch pipe, and really it's just a quick come over, maybe a 45, maybe a 22, but either way, that is the next project that I'm going to be putting in. So this is what I just did, hooked up the drain line to the septic, to the cistern. That is now hooked up officially, and now it's time to make this connection here, and we'll officially have our sewer line connected. Oh yeah! So one thing that makes plumbing hard is that when you glue these things together, you get a hydraulic pressure. So if you don't hold them tight, they'll push themselves out. And so you have to let the glue set. And the larger the fittings you get, the more the problem you get with that. So if I didn't push that hard in there, it would have popped out. So now let's do this last part. So there we go, the final connection of all the sewer lines connected, going down and tapping in. Super exciting. So I just want to say this project I've been It's another one of those I've sort of been avoiding because story, it's too complicated, blah, blah, blah. Regardless, now that it's done, it's like, whew, one more of those projects off the list, super excited. And I was kind of having a rough morning, didn't want to do it. And as you saw with that water manifold, I was just a few fittings short. So I was like, ah. But you know what, there's a break in the weather. It's actually supposed to be mid-60s today in Tennessee in the middle of January, end of January. Actually, it's February 1 today, everyone. Happy February. Tomorrow's Groundhog's Day. Anyway, all this is to say, to ramble, sometimes we have those projects we don't want to do, and once we get the project done, it's like, oh, I feel so much better now. So if you're feeling stuck and don't want to do it, sometimes just start it in a little way and watch the magic happen. Continuing on, plumbing 2.0, we're in the bathroom of the main wing, and the plan is to put the ceiling on in the bathtub. And I have this stuff, I think it's called Marlite. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not the FRP that we were going to do. It's Marlite. From what I've been told, it's kind of the same stuff that you put in shower walls, according to people at the lumber store. So got it cut to fit. It's going to go up there. It's going to be a real tight fit. Kind of have to like bend it into place to get up there, but that's the next main thing. So once that gets up in there, I can silicone the cracks here, right? Silicone all around, and then just do a quick trim out of the shower tub. Shower tub's done. So that's the plan. We'll see how she goes, but that's the next step. So let's get on it. There it is in a rough sense, right? I have it glued up there, glued to the ceiling here. Looks kind of crappy, but what I'm going to take a silicone to clean this edge up, clean up all the edges around the top edge. It's a little smaller than I was hoping for, but either way, it's in there. It's a nice clean white ceiling now. Woohoo! And obviously some trim painting has to happen here, but I assumed that's par for the course. Either way, the ceiling is up in there, and we will caulk it, clean it first, and then caulk it in, and that's that. All right, yippee yay! It is all cleaned up, siliconed in on the floor as well. Nice little white bead there, and yeah, this shower is coming along, man. I'll just give a quick clip here of what it looked like only a few months ago when I was framing it in, but long way with this shower. So tomorrow, it's the end of the day. Tomorrow I'm going to come and trim out this shower here, and then also come in and, like I said, install the vanity and the turlet. So that is the plan for mañana. Time to trim out the shower. We're going to do that right now. Here's the shower kit that we got. It's a little Lowe's package. I think Allen and Roth is just like the Lowe's thing, but there it is. It's a nice little brushed nickel thing. Put this in here and start the purification going on. Next fun thing in the plumbing thing is we're going to put the turlet together. Got an American Standard turlet. And we have a plumbing pro tip. Always install the toilet outside. A lot of times there's many ways of doing it, but what I've found that works best for me is, we're not in the bathroom right now, we're in a nice big open space. I'm going to assemble the toilet completely here and then walk it into the bathroom. It's just easier that way. So that's what we're going to do next. Fun stuff here. Tell you what, fun stuff. Little plumbing pro tip for you. When you're moving toilets, right here, this is the best spot to pick it up. It's somewhat balanced, but you can't pick up, there's no handles here. And when the tank is, you just sort of pick this thing up and you can just sort of go. You can ride it like a cowboy. Woo boy. All right, let's put it together now. So one main rule when you're plumbing, never over tighten. Over tightening gets you in trouble. That's when things break, especially porcelain. So here it is. It's relatively tight, a little bit of a wobble, but you want stuff to be tight. But there is a finesse that plumbers learn where it's just tight enough, but too much is gonna crack porcelain or break things. So just remember, when you're plumbing, if you don't trust yourself, hire someone else, because plumbing, there's a finesse. It's not as easy as people think. So either way, tight, not too tight, not over tight, just right. Kind of like Goldilocks, if you know what I mean. Next on the project list is getting the vanity set. Here's the vanity, and what I'm about to do is drill holes in the back of it for the plumbing to come through. And then the other fun thing is Laurel's kitty cat, we're going to be keeping the litter box in here, so I'm going to be drilling a hole in the side of the vanity so the cat can come in, Raimi, or future cat, can come in here and use the litter box and head out. So I'll be drilling a hole in the side of the box. That's next. Let's do it. Update with the vanity. You got the waters in. This thing is screwed to the wall. Got some anchor points in here screwed into the wall. Got the angle stops and everything. So the next thing I'm going to do is just going to trim out the little cat door and then put the faucet on the vanity and then connect it all, and then we're all set. So just wanted to give you that update. Here's the undermount. I tell you what, every time I install a faucet, the technology completely changes, but at the same time, it's just enough that I can figure it out. Long story short, here's all the lines coming together, hot, cold, they mix at the faucet. And here are the supplies going down to the waters. Always, kids, always, hot's on the left, cold on the right. Always. Sometimes it's backwards best because the plumber messed up or someone messed up. Regardless, got the water supplies on here. Also, the other thing you always want to do is, if you are plumbing, as you saw, you have a hold back on the one that's not moving and tighten, because if not, problems are going to occur. So either way, that's that. Just wanted to give you a show from the underbelly of this, and I will sell you what. I'll tell you what. My preference is to put faucets on with the vanity up here, because trying to crawl underneath the kitchen, underneath any sink and trying to install this is way more difficult. So work smarter, not harder, kids. That's what I tell you. All right, so let's get this vanity top on there and make it happen. So that's the vanity all hooked up, faucets and such, everything's hooked up underneath. And as far as the cat box goes, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait until we do trim out, because really I tried a few cuts and it didn't go very well. So instead of me wasting my time, I'm just gonna focus on what's necessary and getting this thing trimmed out. And when we do, all the other mill work, we'll just include that in the list. So yep, that's what's going to happen. Just saying, I don't know, and I'm inexperienced, and I don't really want to waste time doing it. So, lesson for me, everyone. All right, so let's get the toilet in now. All right, toilet time, and some pro tips for you. So, wax ring. I don't know, I've been doing this so long, I never knew there was another option, but you install the wax ring on the down here. I've seen some people try to put it on the bottom of the toilet and set it. That's just madness, is what that is. And then the other sort of is what you do. Take your toilet bolts. When you get into the actual flange, if you can use like a backing nut on it, that will help hold it into place. See this little thing here, right? It's just an extra washer that you anchor down, so that way when you're trying to set the toilet, the nut's not going dancing all everywhere. So if you tighten this down, and then also when you're doing it, measure from this flange to that wall,
Make sure they're both equal, because if not, your toilet's going to be crooked and it's going to just be weird. So when you're doing your toilets, those are some little pro tips in this area. Then you put the wax ring in, then you drop your toilet down. So that's what you do. All right, let's do it now. Yay. And in case that didn't make any sense, this is what I'm talking about. That flange, 11 3/8, 11 3/8. There it is, kids. Make that nice and square, and once that's square, then so the wing grows on, the toilet goes down, and look how secure this is, right? That's nice and secure, so that way your toilet isn't going to be wobbling to set it, and you will be very happy afterwards. So plumbing pro tips for you. Yeah. Remember I said hold it like this? Look at that. That's what you do. Line up the holes, drop it on. And the next thing is you just sit, have a gentle sit, gently rock it back and forth, give it a nice sit until the wobbling stops, and that's it. And then you just want to make your reveal here is even. There it is. That's it. That's how you that's how you plumb a toilet, everyone. I love it. So that's that. So now I'll put the toilet bolts on, secure that on, and then we got plumbing in here. Look at that. We got a turlet, Mom and Dad. Look at that. Turlets. Woo boy, turlets. And yes, for those that you were curious, it's a tight fit, but she fits. She fits. It's going to be a narrow one. But we got toilets and we got sinks. Oh my. Ooh, and we got showers too. Look at that. Fun stuff. There it is. There's the bathtub, and there's the shower head. It's all complete, everyone. Guess what? Bathtub's done, and the whole bathroom's done. Other than the tripod being in here, there's your, get the tripod out of here. Look at this. I got toilet that's finished. Yay, finished toilet, finished sink, and finished shower. Oh my goodness. This bathroom is fiend, finally. Can't believe it. There's been so much from me being in here doing the rough plumbing, what feels like years ago, but probably only months ago. And again, you know, framing in the shower and all that jazz. And now, and then of course the painting on the walls. And now look at this. Here's the bathroom. That's so much fun. And then the bright window there. But and then the final shower wall with the valve. And there it is. Woo! Bathroom is completed. I didn't think, wow. There it is. Bathroom's completed. Woo! Got some nice echo in here too, right? So, one other thing I'm going to do in this video before we wrap it is probably put the water heater in, which is the next room over, and I'll get to show you the chaos right now, so you get to see a little before and after. Right now it's kind of chaos where we got water heater, washer and dryer, and it's going to go in here. So got to do that next. So not sure if that'll be today or another day, but either way, let's get that water heater in. So what that was playing the home game. That was a hard one. Ooh, man, doing that, that's not it's not for the light of heart there. Anyway, shutoffs. So the water heater's going right here. Now one of them pro tips for you is plumbing. I got a lot because I did plumbing for many, many years. Plumbing pro tips. Whenever you're putting a hot water heater in, I always say put a shutoff valve on the hot and cold both. Why, you ask? Because I've lost track of how many water heaters that I've installed that did not have one on the hot line. So when you cut this, all of the water from the entire house starts flooding out this line. So to make it real easy for yourself and whoever does the next water heater change out, put a shutoff valve on hot and cold both, because your life will be a lot easier. You just shut it off here and you isolate the water to this. That way you don't have to drain down all the water lines in the house. Just long story short, just do it. Your next plumber is going to thank you for it. So, bing! There you go. All right. I'm gonna unbox the water heater now. Let's do it. All right, couldn't resist. I'm just like, let's do this. So the hot is connected, right? So just a different angle here. Making it look pretty, making it look straight. Need the straight, pretty lines, right? So the hot is connected, and I gotta do the cold now. Problem is, I'm at that problem where I ran out of material, and so I gotta get more material. So anyway, manana, we're gonna go into town and get some more stuff. So I'm gonna connect this here, down to here, down there, up and over. Hot for red, blue for cold, everyone. All right. What a day. I love it. Kicking butt, doing it. All right. All right, continuing on with the water heater. One little thing I want to tell you about a water heater that most people don't know what is. Most people probably don't know much about their water heaters, but I'm going to tell you something. There's this thing right here. That thing right here. Give you a close-up. This thing right here. Most people want to know what it is. They want to jiggle this thing, but they want to jiggle this thing. They don't know what the heck it does. It's called a TNP valve, temperature and pressure valve. Very important. Very important to not play with this thing, to jiggle this thing, to do anything, because, especially in older water heaters, if you mess with it, kind of like messing with anything old mechanically, once you mess with it, it sort of just goes weird. What this thing does, it is a safety valve. So if the pressure or the temperature of your tank goes beyond a certain regulated limit, it will jettison water out of here. So if you see water shooting out of here, not really a bad thing, but you may want to call a plumber to have them come check it out, because these valves can be replaced. So anyway, little pro tip. Just curious, in case you've been wondering what this little brass thing on the side of your water heater is, that's what it is. Leave it alone. It's better left alone. And these little pipes come out. What they do, when I screw it in here, what it does is, if it drains down, if that has to drain down, all of a sudden it's draining it down into the pan and not into just spraying out crazy like that. So that's what that little bit of a pipe coming down does for you. So there you go, little random plumbing pro tip for you. All right, went to the store, got material, and we're gonna hook up the cold. The water heater's done, so let's do it. There you go, beautiful lines. As a plumber, kind of like plum. By the way, plum means, plumb bob means lead. Plumber is lead. Plum in the elements is lead. Anyway, plumb, straight up and down. Look at that. Ooh boy, beautiful. Water heater is complete, beautiful. And like I said, I got the shutoffs up here. Anyway, last thing done in the plumbing build. I love it. Isn't it so beautiful? It's really coming together. Yay, we can have hot water now. How cool. And I will say, one thing that does need to happen, I need to have a Sparky come back. Sparky meaning electrician. And they need to hook up the wires to this box. I don't have the ability, well, I have the ability, I just don't have the material. And the electrician is going to come back in a few weeks, maybe a few days, I don't know, and hook up this to that. That's with electric water heaters. Gas water heaters, you have the whole gas line and everything, right? So electric water heaters just hook up a line and it's done. So other than that, we're really moving along here. So woohoo for plumbing. All right, the moment we've all been waiting for, maybe the moment that I've been waiting for, is what we're doing today is we're gonna be livening up the system. Here's all the water lines going to both houses. And we got this pump. The pump I'm gonna be using is what I use on my bus. It's like a typical RV pump. And it's a 110 outlet. And we had the electricians wire an outdoor outlet with a dedicated service to this pump. So this pump has a dedicated breaker to the box. And what I'm gonna do is, this is just gonna be what we're gonna use for now. Maybe it's the permanent solution, maybe it's a temporary solution. Either way, it's gonna get water live in this house, which I've been wanting to do this a long time. And this is the last project, because after this point, the plumbing is going to be done in this house. And you may notice the kitchen I have not talked about. That's going to be in its own video. I'm going to do the plumbing and everything for its own video in the kitchen. So stay tuned to that video. That'll be coming up after this one. So with that, let's just get this pump in. And I have this beautiful box that I'm going to be putting the pump in as like a little well pump box, just to keep it protected from the elements and this and that. So either way, let's get this pump in. So this is what I have generated with the pump. So we have the pump here, right? And then this is the inlet. It's a black laundry hose that goes around the back of this and taps into these large water tanks. And for those that you remember, we have these large 275, so 550 of water here being collected off the roof. So it's coming manifolding, and the black hose is connecting that, going under and feeding the pump, which is then feeding this house. In addition to that, it's feeding this house, and with this manifold that I did in an earlier part of this, right? So it's going to the main and to the studio both. So this manifold will feed both, and this pump, as it comes out of here to the blue line, will come up and then feed into this line here. And it's just been one of those days where I keep forgetting one fitting after another. But there it is, that's the water line, and then on a later day I will liven it up and show you the running water inside of the house. This is like super exciting to have running water inside the house. Long time coming for this. So either way, day in life of plumbing where I'm rushing, not thinking, and I'm forgetting things. So either way, wanted to show you an update on the pump, and when it's all live, we'll give you that update. So next clip. Also want to show you this, what this tub is. It's basically one of these, like, you know, Craftsman, whatever, 40-gallon tubs, 30-gallon tubs that clicks together as waterproof. So that will keep most of the critters out, right? And then also, and keep it protected. And where these holes are coming through here, where the pipe's going through, and where the electrical wire is going to go through, and the water supply, I'm going to plug those in time. But either way, just to keep this pump protected, and it's underneath the house, and then when we get the skirting here, it'll keep it even more protected. But that is the starting point, and that will work for now, like I said, until maybe in time we get that 1,000-gallon tank up and running, and then we'll have a whole well pump. But that's a whole other story for a different day. Here I sit surrendered. This water pump has definitely been trying me on many levels, and ultimately where I got to was the best option and solution. So let me show you what I got going on here. This here is the final version. Like I said, this black hose is going over to pick up these water cisterns, the supply coming in the tank, feeding the pump, right? And there's the flex hose here. What I realized after going to the store 4 times, and I'm almost kind of not kidding, was that I need to have a flex hose on the outside as well for the supply, because if I have a rigid line coming out of here, I can't move this bucket in and out to do maintenance on the pump. So like with this, now there's 2 flexible hoses. I can put that into place, and the flexible hose here allows me to do maintenance on it. And yeah, it's a lot of like going from one thing to the next, but ultimately that's what we're going to be dealing with. So the time has finally come. Like I said, it's coming in here, and we have the angle stops, or the shut-offs here, right? So the time has come where I'm finally going to liven this thing up, and the next clip is going to be me showing you running water inside. Yeah. Laurel! We have running water!
Oh my God. Wow. Wow.
We are running water, Laurel! We are running water!
That's
and look,
amazing.
it holds it beautifully. Oh my goodness. Laurel, you have no idea how much I've struggled to get this water. You do.
I have a very good
You
idea.
don't know how much I've struggled. It's
Yeah.
been like one fight after the next with material and everything.
yeah.
But we have operable water. You have a flushing toilet, Laurel.
What?
Lift the lid and give that beautiful handle a push. Let it go. You have a flushing toilet, Laurel.
Okay.
You have a flushing toilet.
Yeah.
This is,
it's
what was the last time you lived with a flushing toilet?
1,000 years ago. It's been a really long time.
It's been at least, what, 6 months?
At least.
At least 6 months that she's lived without a flushing toilet. Now she has joined the modern world of running water and flushing toilets, everyone.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, Laura, we're going to wrap this wonderful plumbing video. Any consolations or efforts or things you want to say to the viewers as we wrap
It's
this?
been harrowing. Don't think that building your own house is fun. I mean, there are moments of thrill, but it is one of the most stressful things physically, emotionally, and spiritually that you can figure out to do. And I mean it. And if you do it with a wonderful partner, you will end up fighting, and if you're really lucky, you'll make up.
We
lot.
We fight all the time, but at the end of the day, it's like I love her, right? It's like,
Right.
you know,
We make up.
we are closer as mother and son now than I think we've ever been. So
Yes.
anyway, one day at a time, right?
My boy.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being on this awesome, harrowing journey. And stay tuned. In the next video, the kitchen will be completed, and that's exciting news. Here's a few clips of just what to expect with the kitchen being completed. And then next video, though, you have a functional kitchen. That's just going to be bizarre. A functional kitchen in here.
Functional and gorgeous.
All right, everyone. Be well. We love you, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.